Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our conference call. I guess it's about time to start. I've heard since I've been on, and I was a couple of minutes late getting on, about 12, 13 clicks as I counted them. So I know that we've got a few of you out there. Um, so what I'd like to do today is I'd like to really do the introduction to how you can really begin to capture that that percentage of your marketplace, that market space out there that is waiting for you and that needs your services. By the way, I'm Dennis Rowley. I am the president and owner of One Senior Source, and the purpose of this call today is really to help all of us go out there and really begin to market to seniors, market properly to seniors, market in ways that will be productive, ways that will make it better for all of us. So that's why we're doing what we're doing today. So the question isn't really whether we like to do it or not, and it isn't whether it's really something we enjoy doing. It comes down to how much money do you want to make, and how much freedom do you want to have, and how many seniors and their families do you want to help. As small business owners, we all got in this business because we wanted to be senior service providers. Whether that's home care, home health care, hospice, stairlifts, home modification, walk-in tubs, no matter what of that space you decided you wanted to enter, you got into this because you liked doing that part of the business, and you thought you could make a fair amount of money doing it, and help a lot of people in the process. But once we got into the business, we suddenly realized that we had to become accountants and salespeople and marketing people and human resource people and managers and business managers. We got into this to do the business that we like to do, and what happens is now that we have to do all of those other things. We have to perform all of those other tasks before we can really begin to do the business we got in the business to do. So what we're going to talk about today is a little bit of a paradigm shift, a little bit of a mind shift, because what it comes down to is that in order to be successful, we have to be marketers of our business first and foremost before we can do what we want to do. And the reason is that to really understand who our customer is and what they want and what they're looking for, in order to provide all of that, we have to know what it is they want. So we have to do the marketing initially. And then we can then go about the process of doing the business we want to do. We have to be marketers of what we do so we can then bring in the money, so then we can hire some of the other people, like accountants and HR people and the sales people and the marketing people, so we can then do the business that we got into the business to do. I know that the day that I was able to do the business that I got into the business to do and not do so much of the marketing and so much of the sales and so much of all of that stuff, it was like that was the day I really, really began to enjoy my business. It was the day that I really caught fire and realized all of the people that I was helping. The bottom line is, to be a success in the senior services business, we need to be successful marketers. And to be successful marketers, we need to be successful educators. Because that's what it takes to really market to seniors in this space, is to be successful educators. That's where our senior ABM, or seniors education-based marketing program, comes in. This should be a really easy transition for most of you out there, because you realize, and you realize that one of the things that you like to do about your business is the education part. So it's not that much of a shift. But what it is it's a way to actually get their attention and get more people educated and educate them in a proper way so they understand. So they're going to pick up the phone and call or send you an email rather than just kind of stay stuck and say, well, thank you for the information, but I think we're good. So that's really what we're going to be talking about today. There's just a few principles and concepts you need to learn to really do this and do it properly. Now, the reason to learn seniors education-based marketing is that right now there are 3% of the people out there in your market that you're actually serving. The big issue with that is that it's that you and every other company in your space is all marketing to that very same 3%. So you're all out there battling for that 3%. You're doing okay. You're keeping your doors open, getting that 3%. But imagine what you can do if you could reach another 30 or 60% of that market. Just think what that would do for your business. Now, there is another 30% out there. These are people who know about you and at least know about what you offer and are thinking, well, we're probably going to do this someday. Maybe after Christmas or after New Year's or, maybe next summer. After they're going to call at some point, but just not right now. Then there's another 30%. And this 30% is the people who are really unconscious. They are just completely unaware of what you do. They don't know about the services you provide. They don't know about your existence. They're just out there and they're unconscious. But once they're educated, both of these other 30%, 60% in the market are really out there and ready and prime to make the leap to give you a call. So that's another 60 to 65% that are really fair game. We've already talked about that initial 3%, and you can actually pick up even a larger percentage of those by, again, focusing on that bigger pile. So how do we reach that roughly 60 to 65%? So that other 60 to 65% that nobody is really reaching can be reached with seniors education-based marketing. What we're going to talk about today is the very first part of the education-based marketing system, and that is really what we call magnetizing your audience. By magnetizing your audience, you attract them to your marketing. You attract them to you. And the way you do that is by giving them something of value. What we're giving them of value is an education. We are educating about what you do and about you, and you're educating about something they don't know about, and that is your service. And there is a lot of value in that because most of these people are either waiting, and who knows what they're waiting for, or they're just completely unaware. And so if you can provide them with an education, provide them with a basic education on what you do and how you do it, chances are that you're going to get a fair percentage of those calling you. Now think about this for a second. If you're in that space where you are battling for that 3%, you're getting your share of the 3%. Imagine if you could get, for every one that you're getting now, you could get another 10, 15, even 20 more people enrolling in your business. What would that do for you? What would that do for your business? What would that do for your employees? What would that do for your payroll? Now, the research is proved out and is actually separate research from the research about the 3% and the two segments of the 30%, but that research has roughly proved that roughly 35% or 1/3 of your market is even aware of what you do. So that's really part of that first part that we want to reach. you're right. Remember that that second 30% is the second segment. The first 3% of those who actually are out there and looking and and ready to buy your services. That other 35%, 30 to 35% are people who know that your services exist, but they're just waiting, and they're waiting for something. And they're planning on buying your services at some point. What we want to do is we want to trigger them to call now, because they realize that it's going to save them money, it's going to save them time, it's going to save them effort. And that's really what we do with seniors education-based marketing. Now, the second segment that we're not reaching needs to be educated on why they need to act now rather than later. And in many cases, that is because you can help them now more than if they wait. And how we magnetize these people is really that very first part of what we talked about, that strategy that we talked about last week. And that is designing a hook that will attract them to listen, to read, to watch, or however you're going to be sending out your seniors education-based marketing, and then pick up the phone to contact you. The hook is critical because it allows them to do what we call self-select. So if they're out there and they're picking up your email, they're watching your video, they're listening to your podcast, they're reading your flyer. Self-selecting is the process of, okay, maybe it does make sense for us to call now. Because once you have educated them properly on what it's going to do for them, then they're going to be more willing to pick up that phone and call. Remember, everybody's favorite radio station is WIFM. What's in it for me? And once that much is done, then we can begin the process of self-selection. As you're well aware, direct mail response is roughly 1%. Education-based marketing can be as high as 50% response, because let me say that again, education-based marketing can be as high as 50% response, because the process of self-selection allows them to really let you know that they're interested. So once we get them to self-select, then we can get 50, we can get 40, we can get 35%, because they've already self-selected and said, okay, I do need to know more about this because there's something important here for me to know. Now, this education can be in the form of one-on-one appointments. It can be in the process of workshops. It can be in the process of podcasts or video emails or blogs that you send out to them on a continuing basis, so you've educated them. You have become their trusted advisor. So what we're going to be talking about and working on today is that hook. The hook is absolutely critical. So what is a hook? Well, a hook is a headline that gets their attention. Now, there are many schools of thought on a hook, but the first critical thing you need to know is that a hook really should include a number. That hook should start out with something like the 3 things you need to know, the 4 critical issues, the 2 big mistakes, the 1 critical thing you need to know. That really is it, because people think, okay, this is not going to be a long drawn out process. This is going to be a simple 1, 2, 3, a 1, 2, 3, 4. I can deal with 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't deal with something complicated. But if you can actually give me 4 things I need to know, 3 steps I need to take, 2 steps I need to take, 1 critical thing I need to understand. If I can get that by opening your email, by reading your brochure, by going to your seminar, then if I can get that out of this, then it's certainly worth me attending. Now, if you don't think these hooks work, the hook that got you listening to this conference call included a line very much like that. Also, just so you know, my first response has been about 70% of emails that were opened, and about 40% overall of the emails that have been sent have brought people that responded to and listening to the conference call today. Now remember, the other critical part of this is that you have to have an offer them a real education that includes some value. Now that can be in that initial contact, or it can be listening to a response from them that allows you to follow up with them and then make further contact. But there must be some value given and some value received, or that hook means nothing. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that next week, the part about including value. Another critical element in your education-based marketing is that you need to build trust. You need to establish yourself as a trusted advisor, and that means including some relevant credentials. The person receiving your communication must trust that you know what you're talking about. So it's critical that your credentials are verifiable, first of all, that they're impressive, and that they're easily understood. Another important part of your hook is that what you're selling and how you're selling it. For example, let's look at soup. Okay, you can sell soup for its health benefits. In the example of that hook, you could use would be, the 4 vital reasons that soup should be a part of a healthy lifestyle. Now those reasons can be, first of all, your soup is loaded with vegetables, secondly, that there are no preservatives, and third, that it's loaded with vitamins and natural good things. You get the picture. You get the picture. Another way that you could sell that soup is by saying that the soup is a very economical option to feed your family. The hook for that one could be 3 ways that soup can save you $50 a month on your food bill. Now again, the value that's created is that you could get them to go on to list those 3 things that can then make soup more economical, a more economical option than other grocery stores. Another great way to sell your soup would be how easy it is to prepare. A hook for that one could be 1 way to serve to save 4 hours a week in the kitchen. I don't think I need to draw you a map on how that education would work. Also, education-based marketing can be very versatile. You can use it on posters, you can use it on flyers. You can use flyers, you can use email, you can use it in different mail, and you can use it on the radio, you could use it on TV. There are really 1,000 different ways that education-based hook can be used to get people to self-select. So, in conclusion, and I know that we're going to wrap this up a little shorter than we originally talked about, but that's because a few of the comments I got last week with that was that it's just too hard on a Monday to actually set aside an entire half hour. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and keep this to 15 to 20 minutes a week. 15 to 20 minutes, that over the next 2 months you're going to learn how to really double or triple or increase your business 10 or 20 fold by attracting that other 60% of people that you and no one else in your space is really reaching. So basically what we talked about today was setting a mindset, picking up the things that really connecting with the things that really will allow you to market your business properly. That's the first thing. The second was the hook, and the third was to create value and create a value in this education-based marketing that people believe that it's worth it. Now, if you would like more information, there was something that didn't come across very clearly, I urge you to call me. Call me at 844-981-0098, or email me, dennis@oneseniorsource.com, dennis@oneseniorsource.com. That's one spelled out, seniorsource.com. So we can set up just a little bit of additional training, something that, again, this is no cost, but the end goal here is to get all of you more really in line with what it's going to take to really take your business to the next level. And again, thank you for listening today. And I appreciate your attendance, and we look forward to seeing you next week.